I decided I want to hop on this topic lately that I know a couple other people have covered on already, but I thought might as well just address it because I feel like it's definitely something that should be addressed for sure, which is obviously the lack of free-to-play CC that Legends has been giving out as of late, at least. As of lately, if any of y'all don't know, there is people, I guess, a group of people or whatnot that do actually keep track of how much CC we get on a monthly basis, essentially, and at that point, I guess we can kind of get an idea of exactly, I guess, how good the last month has been in terms of giving out free Chrono crystals and also how much content there's been and whatnot. And if we take a look at last month's monthly CC records, I'll put it up on screen right now. Essentially we only got about a total, if you were to grind absolutely everything in the game, free to play wise, obviously, you would get a total of about 15,000 crystals, which some of you might look at that and be like, oh, that's a solid amount for throughout the month and whatnot, but in reality it's not really that much. And also we're used to getting quite a bit more than this. The last couple of months, for instance, well, the month prior to this in August, we only got about like 16,000, a little over 16,000, so that month also wasn't really the craziest. We didn't have that much content throughout that month, but even the month before that, well, not the month before that, but I know June specifically of this year, we got almost 30,000 Chrono crystals throughout the whole month, which is ridiculous. I get it was during anniversary time, but still, like, that's ridiculous. Even the couple months beforehand, I know for May we got about like over 18,000 Chrono crystals, so it's a lot closer to 20k. The month before that we also got around like 17 to 18,000 and whatnot. So it's like the fact that we're only getting like 15,000, and also the fact that this month they decided to, or last month, sorry, they decided to drop not only an LF but an Ultra 2 weeks apart from each other. 15k CC, I'm gonna be honest, unless you get ridiculously lucky, for most of the player base, it's not really enough in order to actually like summon for all these characters and be able to potentially get them and also potentially get dupes and whatnot. It just ain't enough. It really ain't enough. So that's definitely a big glaring issue as of right now, and especially since we are approaching what is potentially the biggest celebration of the entire year for Legends, being Legends Festival, and it's obviously a very hyped time, very hyped characters, very good characters that people were obviously, a lot of us will want to summon for, obviously, and they're gonna have a lot of value, so naturally you're gonna want to grind up a lot of CC. But if Legends isn't giving as much free CC, that's a big issue. Obviously, I get it's a gacha game, and also they want you to purchase crystals, they want you to go to that shop screen and be enticed and just get bribed and just purchase crystals and whatnot, just spend your money in the game. It's literally the whole point of the game. But still, they obviously have to cater towards their free-to-play players because that's most of their player base and whatnot, so there's that. I don't know, but it's just the main issue, I guess, because for this, I guess, has mainly been obviously the lack of content. Even stuff like free-to-play units, grind up free-to-play units. Now the free-to-play events don't even give CC anymore. Even full power battle doesn't even give CC, so it's just, you're only playing that for the free-to-play character itself, and then you get some other stuff, but you don't get CC for that. Even the raids, they do give CC, but at least lately, within the last 2 months, they've been giving less CC than usual, because usually you get CC from exchanging the raid medals in the exchange shop, and then you could also get some from accumulating combat points. But now, at least with the recent raids, they've just replaced the CC that you would get from the combat points with whatever like medals we've been accumulating throughout the campaigns and whatnot we've been in, and therefore you just get way less CC from the raids now, and it's just not as good, clearly, obviously, in terms of that aspect of it. Also PvP, they had an update recently back in August, obviously, where they added the group ranking system, and for some reason they also decided to adjust the baseline ranking reward system, and instead of making it better, they kind of made it worse, actually, just so that way it somewhat balances it out with the group rankings coming into play, when I feel like they didn't need to touch the baseline ranking rewards at all. They could have honestly just kept them the same and then just added the group rankings on top of that, so that way it just further adds a more incentive to actually play PvP, and that way you get better rewards and whatnot. Potentially, actually, there's more worth to actually grinding up to the top ranks and whatnot to get even more CC, but apparently they fumbled that somehow, so typical Legends L. That, and also the fact that even Legends Battle Royale, actually they had one recently, and for some reason even the amount of CC that you would get from the exchange shop was reduced last time. It's way less than what you would normally get prior. We'll see how they handle the next one, potentially. Maybe they handle that issue, or they just keep it the same or whatnot. I know they did mention they were going to be doing another Legends Battle Royale pretty soon, so we'll see how that's handled, I guess. I don't know. That, and then also TOP. Granted, TOP, I don't think they've reduced the amount of CC, but they did make a change essentially to the boost feature, or the boost system of that mode, obviously, where now they've just jumbled up the listing of characters, so now a lot of the best teams that a lot of people would use in order to easily get into the top ranks and accumulate a crap ton of points and just easily get a lot of the best rewards and whatnot, just get a ton of free CC from TOP, now are not the best teams in order to actually get points and therefore get the best rewards. So now you got to constantly change your team around, and sometimes your teams can be a little bit iffy because of your character selection options and whatnot for the higher tiers in order to get the best points. And it's just, at that point, it's a bit more frustrating. It might turn some people off from playing the mode, and at that point they might just stick with their usual teams that they've been playing with for the longest time, but they just won't be getting nowhere near as many points, which means less CC, obviously. So all that combined kind of explains why, at least, you know, especially last month and even the month before that, we've been getting quite a bit less CC than we're used to, I guess, on a monthly basis, which again is definitely an issue because, you know, obviously they're dropping all these new characters. They're dropping LFs on a monthly basis. Every 2 to 3 months we get an ultra. Again, we're also approaching what is potentially the biggest celebration throughout the entirety of the year, being Legends Festival, obviously, where we're gonna get a part 1 probably dual LF celebration. Both banners are going to probably be ridiculous. Both units are going to be ridiculous. Now we're going to get part 2 with an ultra who's going to be ridiculous. It's just, you're going to need a lot of CC farmed up for that, you know, especially as a free-to-play player or whatnot. So it's definitely an issue for sure. Definitely the lack of free-to-play CC that they've been giving out is definitely a big issue for sure. So we'll see how it continues to go throughout the course of this month, obviously, and the next month, and, you know, further on, I guess. I don't know, but I just wanted to hop on and just kind of talk about this because it's definitely an issue for sure. I know a lot of other players have been complaining about it and kind of making their opinions vocal that there just hasn't been shit to do in the game to actually grind up CC and whatnot. So, and I'll just mention this here mainly just because of the lack of, you know, free to play CC and whatnot. Any free to play players, I would just honestly recommend to just keep saving as much as you can towards Legends Festival and whatnot, because at that point I feel that's where you're going to be able to make the most use out of your Chrono crystals rather than spending them on these current banners we have right now, and potentially whatever we even get in this month. Because keep in mind, most likely this month we're going to be getting another LF character and whatnot, and yeah, so I don't know, just keep that in mind. So there's that. I just definitely would recommend saving, especially the amount of CC we're getting now. Just any extra Chrono crystals you can salvage will go a long way. So I just recommend saving, honestly, unless you're like a big movies main and you really need Cooler or Broly for your teams, then go ahead, I guess. But honestly, at that point, I would just probably, I don't know, for the most part, I would just say skip, honestly, and just save, because the lack of CC definitely hurts, obviously. So again, just any extra Chrono crystals you can salvage would be helpful, obviously. It would go a long way to potentially just getting more value out of your Chrono crystals later down the line in Legends Festival or whatever other big celebration you want to save for. I don't know, whatever. But I just wanted to hop on and kind of just give my thoughts and opinions on this topic, I guess. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Feel free to have any open discussions in the comment section in this video and whatnot. And yeah, with that being said, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And that being said, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a great one, y'all.